Morning folks. So quite unsurprisingly, you can't get hold of plant hire in Cumbria at the moment for love nor money. Now, is this something worth getting twisted up about? No, and for two very clear reasons. First being that the reason that it's difficult to get hold of plant hire is because of all the issues that we've had in Cumbria recently or last week, and there's clean-up operations going on and they're widespread, and obviously that's putting a strain on people in plant hire businesses. So it's just the way it is. They need it more than me, and that's just how it's going. The second reason though is because really it doesn't matter too much, because frankly there's plenty of this sort of work to be done, and in the grand scheme of things, whether I do this work and like the cut downs in Beggars Canyon, whether I do those before or after I have the planting, kind of makes no odds because they all need doing anyway. So we're back here and cracking on with this again today, but I'm going to put the takeoff in and get some of the root felled through a bit more for Beggars Canyon, and we'll get going. Right, where were we? Sorry about that. I went over to the car park end to grab some more tools and got distracted by a semi-fallen tree I had to deal with. It's just kind of what it's like here. You spot something and you've just got to kind of get it done and get it out of the way. So anyway, back to this. So we've got a rough shape roughed out now for the takeoff into where the landing needs to be, and it's a case of a bit like a sketch, really. Once you get it kind of a rough idea of what you're looking at, then you can start to build upon it, and like with the kind of top poles that are in at the moment, they can, once you're done, you can, it's like, again, like a sketch, you can erase the outline sort of thing. It's just one way of thinking of it. Anyway, so I don't know if that shows up on GoPro at all, but you should be able to see takeoff to landing. The gap's not huge. There's a wheelbarrow in there to give some sort of idea of size. So it's not massive, but it is enough to get you over what would have been just a complete speed bog. Not a bog as in wet, but it would have just bogged you down having to stop for all this section. Then the other alternative is to dig it all out. Well, having had a fair amount of experience of digging tree stumps out here, to be fair, it's time-wise, where there was three big ones, time-wise you might as well just build over them. Anyway, I'll crack on and I'll do a bit more filming in a sec. Hiya, right, it's starting to get dark again. About 40% of the way through on this one. Just got to, the other 40% is to actually stack it all in and fill it all in with dirt, and then the other 20% left is you've got some compacting in and some shaping, so not far off. I'll try and give you this sideways on view. You can see that the length of it is, you know, it's not that far of a gap. With this track I want this to be technical, but for all the right reasons. So actually I'm just walking up to give you a view of, I haven't started stacking it in yet with the dirt. Well, I've put a little bit in just to bring us up. Still got bits and bumps. Get rid of this. But just to kind of, I'll start and pack that in and shape it for a nice curve. There'll be an entry in from this kind of sort of direction, put you up and round, up that way. But there's a lot of fill actually. To be quite honest with you, there's a hell of a lot of fill work. There's a good 40, well, maybe 50 to 60, maybe 75 plus, who knows, wheelbarrows worth to go into here. There's quite a lot. It's not going to be, the kick looks really big now just because it's not filled. It's not going to be that sharp of a kick, just to pick you up and put you over, and then we'll pack out this landing area here. The landing's basically going to be the size of that long log there and all the way down. But you know, I suppose that gives a view of it. You can see you've got the wheelbarrow in there to give some sort of idea of of how far the jump is. It's all on a bit of a corner. So the idea is that if this is used on, some of you may know that there's the PMBA Enduro Series coming to GNAR in September of 2016, and I will leave a line in. I'll leave a line around it to come around here and then squeeze in tight this tree, and then round and down following the track. So kind of where the axe is there up to where my bag of stuff is, I will leave that as an option. But obviously that's going to chew time, and when you're short track racing, you know, do you really want to, if you don't absolutely have to, do you really want to be taking that kind of techie route around here that doesn't quite bring you on the line where you want, or you've just got a big swoosh around the corner, up and down? So as I say, I don't want it to be techie for techie's sake. I want the point of it being, if you've got the technique to carry yourself across the features, then you're rewarded with staying on the racing line. And as we get further down this track and I get to show you a bit more about it, you're gonna find more and more of that as you will be rewarded, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm rambling now because I'm dog tired. Anyway, so yeah, there's still, to be honest, there's still a lot of work to do on it. It's got a whole load of filling, a whole load of packing, but we'll get it in, and I'm looking forward to trying this one out, seeing how it works. The testing phase of this one should be a bit of a good laugh, and I'm certainly I'm looking forward to getting some speed into. The line's not really prominent now, but I can see it in my mind, and it kind of bends around this corner. And again, it's not going to show up on GoPro in the dark, but there's a ridge line from here, roughly 50 metres. No, maybe not 50 metres. Roughly sort of 40 metres in that direction, and there's a ridge, and you bend this basically is going to propel you out of up there. If you follow kind of my finger, you're going to come out of there, up and over here, straight down and hit that ridge at some serious speed, at which point I take you on a big swoop over to the left, so that, you know, like I say, if you can get yourself over the features during race conditions, then it's by far the faster line than going through all this stuff here. But I will leave that in as an option, because I know that some people get kind of weirded out by gaps. But I don't know, if you think of it as a tabletop, you've got an upwards transition and then a downwards transition, and in fairness, how many of us have crashed on the flat top of a tabletop? If we're not going to make a tabletop, or it's going to go wrong, 90% of the time it's down in here in the downward tranny. So we never touch the top of the tabletop. It's a bit of a mind game, and you know, I know some people are kind of hung up on it, but well, anyway, for normality, for days that aren't race days and just normal bit of crack dicking about on bikes in the woods, this is going to be a good laugh. We'd pop yourself up, throw a nice shape in the air just to bring you around in a swoop down to here. So it's going to be a good laugh anyway. Right, it's getting dark and I'm really tired, and the only reason that I'm able to talk is because I'm absolutely full of caffeine. So that's apologies if I'm kind of yatta rambling. Knackered. Anyway, it's time for some tea. Thanks very much for your time, and I'll see you shortly.